Hello folks, I've been meaning to make another video for a while now. I just haven't had the time to do it, or more to the point, I've not been well enough to do it, and a lot of other things have been happening, so I thought I'd better shoot a video and say thank you to Alex993CC1 giving me some parts. He sent me over a little parcel. I had some nice little bits in it. I'm sure you'll all recognise these guys. These are CRs, little 150 amp SCRs that I think he blew one of these up actually. I think you can correct me on this, but I think he managed to kill one of these. I haven't used them yet, but I'll put them into service with the good old capacitor bank over there, and make use of those. I'll also make use of those in another upcoming project, which I'll tell you about in a minute. He also gave me a motor, but there's something special about this motor because it has a rotary encoder on the back, so it actually tells you when it's moving by feeding a signal back on this 4-wire lead at the back. So what I've probably intended to do with this is use it to control a potentiometer or something along those lines, or maybe an antenna rotator or something like that. I get feedback from this motor, and that makes it more handy than just a regular DC motor. I think it will come in handy for moving antennas or moving something accurately rather than just turning around and hoping for the best. He's also given me this little thermal sensor, which I'm sure I can interface to an Arduino for the upcoming project which I'm building. Another thing he gave me was a capacitor. We all like capacitors, don't we? Capacitors are fun. He's also given me another capacitor which I put aside, and I will find in a minute. This one here is rated at 4,700 microfarads at 160 volts, so that will go down well with another capacitor which I had, which is, it's got a nice big high voltage danger sticker on the side of it. And that was rated at 6,800 microfarads and 160 volts as well. So we've got a couple of caps there. So that gives me well over 10,000 microfarads, and that will be going into the upcoming project. Also, one of the amazing bits he gave me was this guy. If I pick it up, it's fairly heavy. This is a watt-hour meter. And not just any old watt-hour meter. A few of you will probably recognise one of these because he's experimented with one, but it's the I can't even pronounce that. Sangamo Slumberger kilowatt-hour meter, and that will be going into the project as well. That will be measuring how much power this project consumes, and it will consume a lot of power. It runs around about a kilowatt of power, so it's a fairly big project. On top of that, he gave me a little relay board. This is the relay interface for the Arduino. It gives me 4 relay channels. So you've got 4 inputs on the side, a DC input to power the circuit and the relay coils, and then your outputs to the relay coils themselves. So that's 4 channels, and they this is going to give you a big hint of what the project will be. It will be let's see, what will these be? Discharge enable, run idle, light current, and I've forgotten what the last one is. I think it's going to be interlock. So light current might give it away. On that note, we have this box. I'm sure you all remember this box from one of my previous videos. That's going to be the control panel for the project. We have a key switch to arm and disarm the project. Small 5-volt power supply, little switcher, 2 amps, be more than plenty to run an Arduino and a few other bits. A 0 to 20 volt voltmeter, which is 5 volts DC input, and will measure up to 20 volts DC. using voltage dividers. I'm sure we'll be able to make that work nicely in the project. And the other thing he gave me was this up the back, which was the most impressive piece. Check out that contactor, 24 volts, and I don't know how many amps you can pull through it, but it weighs a ton. And if I pick it up here, bring it over under the light, we might be able to read some ratings off it. No, I can't, it's too heavy. That's the problem. Hang on. Flip her over there, it's got a resistor on the side. Another resistor, here we go. Here's the rating sticker. It does weigh quite a bit. It's probably about as heavy as 2 house bricks put together. And it's a TK11B7A 10G11, and it's rated at, and I'm going to have to put it under the magnifier here to read it. So let's go tap this down. What we got here? It's got a 40 amp 50 amp 600 volts DC. There we are. 40 amp inductive, 50 amps resistive, 600 volt DC max. And we all know where that's going, don't we? That's going to be the cutout or breaker unit for the cap bank. And you see, there's actually two separate contactors on this. See, I can push that one. The other one, they're not joined together. At least I don't think they are. So I'm going to separate these into 2 separate sections. I'm sorry about the jerking, that's just my phone. It doesn't like distance. I'll bring it up a bit higher. Come on. It's a heavy beast. 2 separate sides. You got one separate side, another separate side. I'm sure we can separate these into one single unit. Depending. There's a capacitor on the side. Another one on this side. And yeah, 24 volts AC. That's easily dealt with. And 2 separate contactors on the one. It's metal plate on the bottom here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look, you can see there's 2 separate contactors in there. And they should have 2 separate coil circuits. So I'll be using that to disconnect the cap bank from its charger and connect it to the output at the same time. Or more to the point actually, well, I'm going to use my massive hockey puck SCR, which is over here. I'll just grab that. I'll use this guy here for firing. No, that's a little baby one. Yeah, we call that a baby. No, I'm going to show you guys what a real SCR looks like. But, okay. This is an SCR. That's what I call a baby. That's only a baby. That's even more of a baby. The ones that Alex gave me, but they'll be coming in handy for lock-on circuit for the other project which we're building, which has got all its parts over here. So I'll just move those guys aside so I've got some space here, because I'll be using this monster. That's an SCR. Using that monster to trigger my cap bank, and it's got a peak rating of something like 10,000 amps at over a kilovolt. I think it's about 12,000 to 16,000 volts. Sorry, my bad. 1,200 to 1,600 volts, and that's in a special clamp. Now he was playing with one of these earlier, and he got it working, but I do have to advise that you must clamp these properly. If they're not clamped properly, you get tunnelling, which means you're only firing through the centre of the semiconductor instead of through the entire surface of the semiconductor. So anyway, Alex, thank you for the parts you have given me. I will find that capacitor. I think it's over here. We're just going to have a quick peek. Where is that cap? That ginormous little cap you gave me. It's not actually ginormous, but it is quite dangerous. It's got a clip lead across it. Here it is. I found it. This guy gave me his cap, and you're probably wondering why there's a clip lead across it. Well, I've already been zapped by this bloody thing, and it threw me across the room. And that's because it's rated at 0.6 microfarads and 2,500 volts, and I managed to charge it up all the way, and then thought, well, we'll take a voltage reading off that for a voltage divider. Well, it arced across and zapped me, didn't it? It's got a good kick in it. It's like being belted by quite a powerful electric fence, a very powerful electric fence. Threw me across the room. The capacitor went one way, I went the other. Thankfully, didn't hit my television. So yeah, this guy packs quite a punch, and it will recover its charge. So that's why it's got a clip lead across it, just to make it safe. And that's another one of the parts that Alex gave me, and so thank you, Alex. These parts will come in handy. I will press them into service. I'm not sure when I'll need to make a defibrillator, but all the other parts will be pressed into service, and I'll probably just use that guy over there for making snaps and bangs, and just generally having a bit of fun. Yeah, so till the next video, when I'll give you another hint. The project name is Cyan, which is going to be finished in a couple of weeks. I'm just waiting for the major part to arrive. When Project Cyan arrives, or its main part, I'll get it finished off, because I'm kind of a little bit squeamish about electric shocks at the moment, even though Project Cyan has some fairly high voltages inside it. A lot of it is contained inside its big power supply, which is all covered up. So anyway, that's me, -8BRJ, aka VK2FRO on LPF, and I'm sure all you people at LPF will know straight away what I'm talking about when I talk about Project Cyan and Light. Cheerio for now.